Hi everyone, welcome to another episode by Poor Man Gamer. Today I'm going to show you guys effective not decks that you can use as a free-to-play pair with no epic cards. The reason I wanted to do this video is because I posted one on GDI and it resonated quite well with a lot of you guys saying, hey, this is exactly the kind of video I want to see, right? So a lot of us don't spend a dime on this game, and yet we still want to win. So I'm actually going to show you guys a variety of not decks that I've used personally that has been very effective. And so let's begin. First deck is very similar to the GDI deck. You use your laser squad, flames, cyber wheels. You use your bikes, your tank, and a banshee, right? The GDI doesn't have a banshee, a unit which in my opinion is very flexible, and it's a beautiful unit to use, right? And you're gonna see how quite a few times the banshee by itself basically allowed me to win a match because it created a matchup nightmare for the opponent. In terms of how you use this deck, the key: start up with the cyber wheel, roll it out, just like in my previous video where you roll out with a war dog, and as much as you can, go 2-on-1. In that situation, I saw that there was no way I was going to win, and so I go ahead and send my flame troops down. And as you can see, he just lets me roast him because what's he gonna do, right? Missile squads do next to no damage against flame squads. I'm gonna roll up my cyber wheel once again because I need to scout a little bit more. I want to see what kind of army he's busting out. I see that right now he's got a rhino. I'm gonna go finish off his missile squad. I'm gonna back off my flame squad because I don't want it to die. So now it takes a little bit of micro. I'm gonna use my tank, which can fire on the move, and I'm gonna try to go ahead and send it to the front to engage his rhino, like you see there. And now I'm gonna go ahead and use my flame squad to engage his missile squads, and down he goes. He's done. The reason I charged it up is because the tank with the Oxana charge up can do quite a bit of damage against the harvester. Unfortunately, he rolled out with an orca. The reason I have the laser squads in his deck, or laser troops in his deck, is for this exact reason, is to be a hard counter against those orcas. Now he's a little bit frustrated, he doesn't know what to do, he doesn't want to lose his orca, and he gives up the missile. So easy win for me right off the bat. I don't mind losing my flame squad in this case because he's already weakened quite a bit. He's once again going to go ahead and go after my my tanks. I'm going to do as much damage as I can against his harvester before I lose it, right? And as you can see, this is where the banshee really comes into its own, because the banshee is great against vehicles like a rhino, for example, or pippos, and they're also pretty great against units like the orcas. So the banshee right there is gonna allow me to take out his harvester. That's the word I was looking for. And as you can see, some of you have asked me as well, what do you do against double harvester decks when they start rolling out really high tech level units like what do you call those? Zone troopers, right? Like, they're pretty strong units. Well, easy. Zone troopers, they're actually weak sauce against flame troops, right? So you send your flame troops down, and when you see other anti-vehicle units like you see there, go ahead and roll out your tank and just blow them up. Whenever you see the orca try to come by, reinforce it with a banshee. The key is to use a variety of units and don't get caught up using one in particular. That orca was a huge waste of bullets in my opinion, because what was he going to accomplish, right? So now he wasted all of his shots. He's got nothing to go against my tank. He's finally going to send down his zone trooper now. He's let them heal. He's trying to use a zone trooper to go against my vehicle and my air unit. Fortunately, I saw that coming. I go ahead and send down my flame troops, and now it's near the end of the game where I'm going to go ahead and block him off. I do the exact same thing on the top with my laser troops. Couldn't quite get both tiles, but I got one of them. And as you can see, easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's how you use this deck effectively. I'm going to show you guys another match here against an opponent who loves to use a double harvester. And again, really the key of this deck is to keep that missile charging the entire time. Was this some pump? Yep.
Establishing battlefield control.
So this deck, again, it's quite effective. There are a lot of different combinations of decks. I'm going to show you this first variant because I feel is the most powerful. And I'm going to show you another variant of this deck that I feel is actually quite effective as well. There's three variants, really. So in this case, I'm going to roll the cyber wheel. The reason I advance it to the front is because I want to scout and see what he's doing. By opening with a shockwave, I pretty much already knew that I'm probably going to win this match because he obviously doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to matchups, opening with a shockwave like that. Right? He should have seen my cyber wheel coming, and he should have known that he wasn't going to win that matchup. I sent my flame troop to the top because I see 2 shockwaves and 1 missile squad like you see there. I knew that he doesn't have any matchup advantage against me. I win this first missile, and now I'm going to go advance my units to go down there and start beating him up. I'm going to use my flame squad, push down, right? So this is the key of this deck. Constantly keep the missile charged at all times if possible. And that's exactly what I try to do here. It's all about speed and trying to win that missile count. I focus all my units in one area. I'm going to go ahead now and force my tank up to the top. I'm going to blow up his harvester. I use my flame squad right there to protect it. I'm going to go after his second harvester, and he's going to lose it pretty quickly. Out comes his tech lab unit, which is the disruptor, but remember, I never stop the missile. If I see a disruptor, an easy counter is just to use a tank because disruptors do very little damage against vehicles. I'm still standing on 2 tiles. I'm doing everything I can to block him off from harvesting any further. Now he's caught in a bind because he doesn't have enough units. He up to tech lab way too early. As you can see here, I'm just pounding away at his units, and it's an easy win. So this is how you effectively use this deck. Keep that missile going, roll out with a cyber wheel, scout. If they open with missile squad, counter with flame squads, right? I'm going to show you guys a third deck now. A second deck. This is a variant of it. Instead of using an Oxana charge up, you go ahead and use Dropod guy, and you're going to replace the flame troops here, in this case of the riflemen. The purpose of this deck is to be even faster, even speedier. My personal preference is I don't like this deck as much because I love the flame squad personally, and I feel that with the riflemen, they just don't have enough punch, and they just don't have enough health. They do plenty of damage, but they don't have a lot of health. The good thing though is they are very, very speedy and cheap to replace. So I'm going to roll out my riflemen. So here's the key of this deck. You can roll out with the riflemen, or you can open with the barracks or the war factory. Either one is good. In this case, I saw his missile squad going to the top. Look at this. The whole time keeping the missile going. He's going to be kind of irritating here and start using drones. I hate drones just because ever since they got that buff, I'm not a huge fan of them. The beauty of this deck, drones are quite easy for you to take out once you get the bikes out. So the bikes, 3 shots, bang, 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 is going to take out 3 of them. Right, I'm going to go ahead and finish off his drones. He opens up his Lieutenant Strongarm in a very key position there, as you can see. So he actually does quite a bit of damage against me. I go ahead and sacrifice my rifleman because I'm trying to stand on all 3 tiles. The Orca comes out with an air unit. I really didn't expect the Orca to take out my bikes as quick as it did. Right? I thought I would be able to hold on to it a little bit longer. Unfortunately, I lose it. So I send my drill pod to the bottom to try to stall up this missile until I can get another bike out. Couldn't get there in time. I lost this missile, so now I'm going to back off and regroup. So I lose this missile, and I roll out with a natural counter to all these air units, which is the Banshee. Now, for those of you guys who see a lot of these, who are starting to see these like drone swarm way of winning, here's the key: ignore them. Do not engage the drones. Do not attack them. At the top, I roll out another Banshee, which will take care of the Orca very well. On this side here, I'm gonna go ahead and try to pressure his harvester as best I can. I am gonna lose my Banshee here because it's not very high level, but the Banshee will take out a Pitbull. So here's what I do. I'm going to keep pressuring his harvester in this case. Right? I'm purposely not attacking any of his drones, and he's trying to be a little sneaky there by using micro and keeping his weaker Banshee, no, not Banshee, Pitbull back, but easy to take him out. So there it is now. I own the air. I am going to be able to jump on all 3 tiles now, because it's very easy with the Banshee against drones. He's got no chance of getting into that tile. I'm going to use my bike's superior speed to tile block him, or body block him. So there, down he goes, right? I finish off his all of his units. Again, on the bottom, I still have my bikes there. They're useful against the drones, so I'm going to go ahead and hold them back. I roll up with my flame squad now, along with my riflemen. my laser squad. Laser squads actually do decent damage against drones. It does knock him out pretty quickly. I let my drones die at the top because I feel that they are not the strongest units to use at this time. And I actually go ahead and let him kill off my harvester because I see no reason for me to protect it this time. I'm going to lose it anyway. So by letting it die, it actually allows me to build more units, right? Because I have an extra population. I do see his very irritating APC, which is why I roll up my rifleman there. That's the power of the laser squad. It can take out air units very, very quickly. It's a very strong counter. The unit, it's almost done now, the missile count. So I'm going to go ahead and roll up my rifleman so I can jump on all 3 tiles. I reinforce the bottom there with my Banshee. So even though he's got an Orca out, I am not really afraid of it. So as you can see here, I'm standing on all 3 missile pads. He's trying to use his really cheap drone strategy. Ain't gonna work. So this is how you use this deck. A little speedier, allows you more flexibility. Right, and with the drill pod, you can always time it right so it comes out, and you can go ahead and steal missiles on occasion. I'm going to show you guys now a matchup. As you can see, I upgraded from level 10 to level 11. Yay! Oh wait, no, I didn't. Sorry. I try to mix this up with a what do you call it? Infernal? No, Phantom. Sorry, Phantom. But there wasn't really much to show. I'll show you guys this match anyway, just because he has a high level opponent. So this variant of the deck, it gets rid of the laser squad by using a Phantom. Very effective against high level air decks with a lot of air units. However, this means the only strong units you have against vehicles is the bikes, the tanks, and the Banshee. And as you can see here, if you get out-leveled by the enemy's vehicles, which is exactly what happens here actually, he rolls out bikes that are significantly higher level than mine. So take a look here. Bang, out comes the level 12 bike. My bikes are only level 11, and they're not upgraded at all, right? So now it puts me in a bind because even if I take shots against him, his bikes are going to be able to survive. So I have to roll out a tank. By having a laser troops, it gives me a hard counter against units like this, for example, like the bike rushes, where there's just a lot of bikes, right? And they're just pounding up bike after bike after bike. This is where a laser squad would really come in handy. In this case, my main focus is just to win this missile, which is why I go ahead and let my bikes go one-on-one on the bottom. I'm trying to pressure his harvester on the top, which is why I am trying to force my way up. But as you can see here, his level 12 bikes comes out with significantly more health than me, than my level 11 bikes. If you saw somebody walking by, that was my wife trying to sneak out of the room, trying to be a little sneaky, not interrupt the video. I appreciate her. So I'm going to slow it down here for you guys. I roll out a Banshee because it's my only hard counter against all of his ground vehicles. He smartly rolls out the bikes to protect his tank. So I'm actually going to back off my Banshee. A lot of players, they immediately rush down to engage the enemy. That is not a smart strategy. I'm going to go ahead and force my Banshee back. I'm going to use it in conjunction with my tank, right, to take out his anti-air unit on the bottom there. My Banshee is able to survive. There's my tank protecting my Banshee, and there's my Banshee rolling up to engage my the enemy tank. The whole purpose of this is to use the Banshee as a hard counter against enemy vehicles, especially units like tanks. Notice how I roll up my Banshee first before I roll up my tank. It gives me a couple of shots, and my tank finishes him off. Right? Very, very effective use of this deck. So now I do see that he's got a tank on the top. I'm going to go ahead and instead of rolling up my bike, I roll my Banshee up to the top. I saw the bike coming at the corner of my eye, so I swerve it around the long way so his bikes don't attack me. It allows me to get a couple more shots on his tank, right? And it allows me to roll a fully healthy tank on the bottom to engage his bikes. Now it's all about contesting the missile. Obviously on the top, he was able to blow up my Banshee because he didn't have a lot of health left, and so he was able to stall this missile a little bit further. Rather than give up the missile on the bottom by vacating the space entirely, I'm actually going to go and roll up my Banshee so I'm standing on 2 tiles and forcing him to stand on 1. I'm going to use the 1 tank to body block as best I can, prevent him from jumping on the tile to steal this missile from him. By the time it blows up my tank, it's too little too late, and I am able to get the win 2 missiles and get this win. So this is how you effectively use this deck. It is much stronger, in my opinion, with a laser trooper than it is with a Phantom. And that's essentially it, really, with this Not deck. So guys, thank you for watching. As a free-to-play player, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This deck also works very effectively even for whales. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a wonderful day. Take care.